What if we told you coffee was good for you?
Coffee is the single highest source of antioxidants in the Western diet. More antioxidants than kale, more antioxidants than 70% dark chocolate, and more antioxidants than blueberries.
In fact, what if we told you that coffee is really good for you?
Research shows that 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day dramatically enhances performance in high-intensity exercise, improves memory, reaction times, and overall cognitive function, decreases risk of depression, promotes weight loss by boosting metabolic rates, reduces risk of type 2 diabetes up to 40%, decreases risk of liver cancer up to 71%, reduces risk of Parkinson's up to 30%, and decreases risk of Alzheimer's up to 65%. Overall, coffee drinkers live longer. People who drink 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day have about a 15% lower risk of premature mortality compared to people who don't drink coffee.
And what if we told you that the health benefits of coffee could actually be increased through conscious roasting, sourcing, and processing? Introducing Purity, a health-conscious coffee company. At Purity, we've brought together a world-class team to analyze every step in the production chain from cherry to cup. We make decisions with only one thing in mind: how can we make the healthiest coffee in the world? Here's our 3-step process. Step 1, we search the world for the highest quality organic green beans that meet our exacting standards. Way less than 1% of coffee worldwide fit our sourcing criteria. Step 2, we test, and test again to create a specific roasting protocol for each harvest that maximizes healthy compounds and minimizes toxins. Step 3, we nitrogen pack our coffee within 48 hours of roasting and deliver to your door every 2 weeks to ensure maximum freshness. The result is the ultimate coffee drinking experience. You'll not only taste the difference in our clean, healthy coffee, with Purity, you'll feel the difference.
Our coffee club members report a bright, alert lift with less jitters than regular coffee and much more gentle on the stomach.
Sign up for Purity today, and you'll never have to worry about your source for healthy coffee again.
Good afternoon. Happy Saturday. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst show. My name is Dr. Aaron Ernst, and today we have an incredible, I say it every week, but it's truly an incredible opportunity to talk to you today about one of the most dangerous health hazards. This thing is something you're probably exposed to on a daily basis. It has recently been linked to causing cancer, and we got to talk about this herbicide known as glyphosate. AKA Roundup. It has been found in beer and wine samples, including some pretty common things that you guys might use. Those of you who are on our live stream, I'm holding up infographics, cereals and cookies and cakes and crackers and, let's read it. Stella Artois, Samuel Adams, Sutter Home, Behringer, Barefoot, Coors, Corona, Guinness, Budweiser, Miller Lite, loaded with glyphosate. And the shocker of all shockers was this year, there was a study put out that said cancer-causing herbicide found in 80% of U.S. samples. What does this mean, guys? You have an 8 out of 10 likelihood of having glyphosate in your body, wreaking havoc on your health, and you may not know anything about it. Now, you may know about the effects. So look, we call this the Ask Dr. Ernst show because you get to ask your health questions, we get to answer, and we constantly get asked, why am I so tired all the time? How come my doctors haven't figured out what's causing my health issues? Why do I have heart disease and diabetes and MS and Parkinson's? And why can't I feel my face? And why can't I feel my legs? And why do I have sciatica? And why? And the number one toxin that we find riddled in humanity, and specifically those people who we work with, is glyphosate. So today we have to talk about what is it, what are the damaging things it does to your body, how can you set yourself free from it, how do you even find out if you have it? And here's the really cool thing, guys. There's a recently new at-home test. I'm holding up a sample report where you can find out how much glyphosate is in you. Now, if you're watching our live stream, you'll see it physically. If you're not watching our live stream, I highly recommend head on over to Twitter. We're now on Rumble, Facebook, and YouTube. We're there, just not right now. I got banned for talking about vaccines. But the idea is Great Plains Labs offers for $125 the ability for you to get a glyphosate test. This test, in my opinion, is more important than cholesterol, more important than your blood sugars, more important than your calcium scores for your heart. All these tests that we run on ourselves, and we're missing the poison of poisons. It's the weed killer that will kill your health. It's called glyphosate. Now, I've done shows on this before, and I get a lot of people who like, oh, Dr. Ernst, is it really that dangerous? Like, we've been using it for years. All right, listen. Okay, you need to know something. Monsanto patented the word glyphosate and uses the name Roundup in the 1970s. So have we been using it for a long time? Yes. But here's the thing. It was originally used as a weed killer applied to plants so that we could prevent sort of like weeds from growing. Well, now there's been a modification because, in the mid-90s, 1996, 1997, Monsanto, the same company that makes the weed killer, figured out a way to make seeds only be able to grow if they are sprayed with this stuff and not die if sprayed with it. So certain food products you eat technically are grasses and weeds and grains. So they genetically modified corn, which is a grass, and soy, which is a weed technically, and wheat, which is a grass, to be able to grow in this in the 1990s. So 1996, 1997, the same company that makes the weed killer in the 1970s now makes the seeds that can grow in the weed killer without dying. And in the year 2000, glyphosate became generic, which means it's so inexpensive. So we can now have farmers get a ton of this stuff for next to nothing. Okay, listen to some statistics. In the year 2000, in the U.S., we sprayed 90 million pounds of glyphosate. In 2014, which is quite some time ago, we hit 240 million pounds. Genetically modified crops are cropping up everywhere. You're finding them even in your local grocery stores. And I couldn't find an update, but if you do the math, if from 2000 it was 90, in 2014 it's 240, with 2024, which is right around the corner, we're going to be doing probably 1 million pounds, or actually 1 billion pounds of this stuff. 240 million, we hit 1,000 million, it's 1 billion. So we're probably pretty close to 1 billion pounds of this stuff. These are my numbers, these are my estimates. I couldn't find how much glyphosate was sprayed in 2022. It didn't exist. But like a lot of these sprays that we put on our foods, the residue ends up in food products. So how on earth does Corona Extra come back at 25.1 parts per billion glyphosate? It's a wheat-based beer, and it carries through. The fermentation process doesn't get rid of it. Look at Heineken, 20 parts per billion. Look at Guinness, 20 parts per billion. Coors Light, 31 parts per billion. Okay. Miller Lite, 29. Budweiser, 27. So listen, I hate to say it to you, but this idea of like a beer belly may not be true. It might be a glyphosate belly because of the damage that this toxin does. It's in other beers and other wines. Stella Artois, Samuel Adams Organic, 5 parts. Now, notice the difference between a non-organic beer, 25, 20, 29, 30 parts per billion. And you might say, oh, well, look, I drink organic beer. I'm safe. Nah, still had it. Not that I'm saying and endorsing beers, but whoever this Peak Beer Organic IPA had none. So you have to understand, just because you go organic doesn't mean you're glyphosate free. Just because you go, well, I don't drink wine, I don't drink beer, not glyphosate free. Cheerios. Look at this. Cheerios comes back at 1,125 parts per billion. A lot of you feed this to your kids. So you're giving them weed killers, which according to a recent study says is actually could be causing cancer. It's been linked to lymphoma. It's a massive health issue. So we have to talk today about what is this thing called glyphosate? Where does it come from? How does it get into you? And more importantly, could it be the missing link between you having your health? Could it be the toxin holding you back? And the answer is yes. 80% of patients we test positive for glyphosate. Just do the math on this, guys. That's 8 out of 10 people that walk into our office and say, Dr. Ernst, can you help me with X, Y, Z? We say, we don't know. We need to run a test. And we find that we see in their urine high amounts of glyphosate. So now here's the deal, guys. Glyphosate has been shown, I'm going to read this to you so you can hear this word for word, to correlate between an increased risk in the following: kidney failure, infertility, cancer, birth defects, clinical fatigue, so fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndromes, etc. And these are physically peer-reviewed published studies. I have some that even show that it disrupts various enzymes in your body, resulting in protein determination. It acts as a mineral chelator. What that means is it sucks the nutrients out of your body. And here's the thing. As an herbicide, how it works is it disrupts a specific pathway called the shikimate pathway, which naturally in a weed or some sort of insect would prevent plants and algae and bacteria and all these things from growing, because animals do not have a shikimate pathway. Now you might be like, thank God, Dr. Ernst, because I'm an animal, and if I had this pathway and someone sprayed glyphosate on me, I would die. Okay, so listen, this is why they say it's safe for humans. You're not a plant or an algae or a bacteria or a fungus. But wait a second. You actually are bacteria and fungus. All of what's been overlooked is that the bacteria in your gut, which play an extremely important role in your health, your healing, your immunity, they do have these shikimate pathways. So what happens is when you consume glyphosate, because of it being sprayed on corn and wheat and oats and soy and various food products, it won't affect your human cells, and you have 70 trillion of those, but it does affect your bacteria cells, which you have over 300 billion of those, in your gut. So this is why there are studies connecting this toxin with cancer, okay? April 2022, right? So this says cancer-causing herbicide found in 80% of human samples. 80%, guys. Glyphosate, I'm reading, is a cancer-causing herbicide found in 80% of human samples, including adults and children. And according to the CDC's National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, They found that people ranging 6 years and older had glyphosate in their urine. The chemical compound and its active ingredient is Roundup, which is now owned by German pharmaceutical company Bayer. So Bayer bought Monsanto in 2018, and listen to this. Quote, glyphosate is the most widely used herbicide in the country, United States, yet until now we had very little data on its exposure, says Alexis Temkin, PhD, a toxicologist at the Environmental Working Group. Now listen to this. Children in the U.S. are regularly exposed to this cancer-causing weed killer through the food they eat every day. What foods, Dr. Ernst, could I be eating daily that has this stuff on it? Well, I'm holding up a list that you guys can see on the live stream. If you're not listening live, I'll read it to you. Cheerios, Honey Nut Cheerios, Wheaties, Trix, Annie's Cookies and Cakes, Corn Flakes, Raisin Bran, Kashi, Special K, Frosted Flakes, Cheez-Its, Kashi. These are all the cereals. Now listen to this. Oreos, Stacy's Naked Pita Chips, Lay's Chips, Doritos, Fritos, Goldfish. There's the kids again. Little Debbie's cakes and pies and things. The 365 organic crackers. Now notice, even the organics, 119 parts. Okay. The crispy cheddar back to nature crackers, 327 parts. What is the allowable part per billion in your body? 0. You're not supposed to have weed killers in your body, and yet so many of us do. So here's what I'd like to do today, okay? So like we have a commercial break. Who knows when it is? Where's my commercial timer? 10 minutes, okay? So here we go. I'm hosting a master class, okay? January 14th on removing chemical toxins from your body. Glyphosate is a big one. Mercury, aluminum, all the metal toxins, because guys, what these things do is they wreak havoc on your metabolism. And the number one side effect is weight gain or weight loss resistance, fatigue, and then elevations in all your numbers. Cholesterol goes up, sugars go up, triglycerides go up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So if you want to join me for this new masterclass, okay, it's January 14th. We have multiple weeks away, but it's going to be enormous. You have to do two things. Text the word New Year, because it's the new year, to 704-906-2094, or take a peek at the screen somewhere in this vicinity. You should be seeing a banner that gives you the information. You text New Year to 704-906-2094, and boom, you're instantly registered for the masterclass. And something fun I'm going to do as a little teaser is each week as we lead up to this, I'm going to blast you guys with some free information on how you can take the next 4 weeks and radically transform your health. I've got 4-week detox guides. I've got 4-week menu plans. I've got 4-week sort of survival health tips. It's all free. It's normally part of a program that we sell and offer for people, but you get it for free if you call in or text in with the info you see on the screen saying the word New Year to 704-906-2094. Okay, so look, glyphosate, Roundup, very dangerous. I'm going to list the top 6 issues of what it does to your body and why you want to get it out, why you should get this test. Super easy through Great Plains. You can order it online, find out your number, and look, if it's way up here or if it's in this yellow-orange zone, you're going to need to join us on the masterclass so I can show you how to get it out. It's a very difficult toxin to get rid of. Okay, 6 things that Roundup does to us that you don't want it to do to you. It is cancerous, okay? It says straight up that not only did they find it in your urine, but what does it say at the beginning? Cancer-causing herbicide. In 2015, 40 years after it was first approved, the World Health Organization, Agency for Cancer Research, declared it as a possible carcinogen to humans, both showing that in epidemiological, that's human studies, and controlled rodent studies, it does cause cancer. You may remember several years ago, the massive case that was won I think the guy's name was Dwayne. He was a landscaper for either a school or a church. Don't quote me, but I don't remember. But the guy would spray glyphosate basically every day to control the weeds in the environment. He ends up with lymphomas all over his body. They showed physical proof it was due to his exposures. He was awarded millions of dollars as a settlement, which doesn't fix the fact that he ends up with cancer, but it is a known carcinogen, and it's now labeled. Now, here's the interesting thing. Most other countries, you can't go into the local hardware store and buy Roundup. It's literally banned, illegal for its use in both at-home and commercial use, meaning farming products, but yet we can just send a 6-year-old into Lowe's and they can walk out with it. Okay, we know it is a major gut microbiome disruptor because glyphosate chemically disrupts the shikimate pathway, Shikimate. Some of you may say, you're not pronouncing it right. It is what it is, shikimate, however you say this, pathway in our body. Various strains of bacteria in your gut, like Salmonella and Clostridium, which are usually naturally resistant. When glyphosate goes after them, certain strains will actually die because that's what it does. It causes death to these pathways by disrupting a specific protein that makes the cell die. Glyphosate can compromise antibiotics' ability to even kill down the big boys like E. coli and Salmonella. So we know that dysbiosis, which is when you have an inappropriate amounts of good bacteria versus bad bacteria, leads to things like obesity and Alzheimer's and autism and type 2 diabetes and Crohn's and high blood pressure and irritable bowel and fibromyalgia and thyroid issues. And so we can keep going. Okay, so like if you want to figure out how you can improve your gut health, if you want to figure out how to get rid of this stuff, highly encourage you. Register today for the masterclass that'll take place on the 14th of January. And every week, here's some information. But I'm only sending this 4-week detox nutrient, I'll call it health regimen pack to the people who register during our radio shows for the next couple weeks. Okay, so you can do that again by calling 704-906-2094. The key phrase is New Year, and then you just simply text your name and your email. Or you can call the call center direct. We have lovely individuals. They sit there all day just waiting for you to call. So why don't you call in and say, I'd like the 4-week pack. I want the diets. I want the detox. I want the guides. We'll email it to you guys. And you're registered for the master class that's on January 14th. It's a Saturday. You're not doing anything else. It's 10 a.m. in the morning, and it's absolutely free. Okay, so number 1, it's a carcinogen, Roundup. Number 2, it's a gut microbiome disruptor. Damages your intestines. Here's a big one, guys. It is a known cytochrome P450 enzyme disruptor. Now, before you tune out and go, what? Like a P450? Okay, it's an enzyme that is responsible for you to produce energy. So think about it. If we inhibit the enzyme, we inhibit energy. When glyphosate levels exceed the allowable amounts, which is basically 0, we want low, you start getting up here into this range of like yellow, orange, red, which according to the graph is 75th or 90th percentile, 95th percentiles. It shuts this enzyme down, which is in humans, just like it's in plants and rodents. But the enzyme distribution has been shown to cause the following: a breakdown in your ability to detox. So now you can't get it out. It elevates cholesterol and dysregulates vitamin D synthesis. So you pump your cholesterol real high and you lower your vitamin D, and it makes testosterone convert into estrogen. Guys, this is why a lot of people have low T today. Not because of genetics or your age, but because you just piled up with glyphosate. And ladies, it shifts your healthy estrogen into the unhealthy estrogen. So we know it affects cytochrome P450, known. We know it disrupts microbiome, known. We know it can cause cancer. And here's another one. It can disrupt the hormones in your body such that it shows it's equal to that of an oncogenetic sort of toxin, okay? So genes that get turned on by toxins is an oncogene, and glyphosate is a known oncogenetic endocrine disruptor. It also works similarly to BPA, dioxins, and other disruptors, which wreak havoc on all hormones in your body. So it can disrupt your thyroid, it can disrupt your cortisol, it can disrupt your adrenal hormones. Generally speaking, it's been shown to interfere with estrogen, testosterone, androgen, and force the aromatization. It's a fancy term, guys. It just means to take this hormone and turn it into that one. Aromatize. It sounds like a Harry Potter thing, doesn't it? Aromatize. And what happens is testosterone turns into estrogen. Not good if you're a male. And then estrogen turns into estradiol, estrone, and other toxic estrogens. Not good if you're a female. It interferes with enzymes that allow for your body to make these specific hormones. And we know, for example, in women, glyphosate is shown to induce breast cell proliferation via interfering with the estrogen receptors. Okay, some of you are going to say, well, really? Like, show me the evidence. All right, all of it's on our website, including all the articles and the links. But I'm imploring you right now. You have it in you, 80% likelihood. It could be extremely high, causing your health issues. If you want to take the next 4 weeks and crush your health goals, I'm giving you free information, recipes, detox packs, ebooks, and guides. We're letting everything out for the next 4 weeks. You'll get emails from us regularly, and you get to join us for the masterclass on January 14th. Guys, take a moment before the commercials come. Use the info in the bottom of the screens and text your name and email to 704-906-2094. Hey, it's the Dr. Ernst Show. We'll be right back.
What if we told you coffee was good for you?
Coffee is the single highest source of antioxidants in the Western diet. More antioxidants than kale, more antioxidants than 70% dark chocolate, and more antioxidants than blueberries.
In fact, what if we told you that coffee is really good for you?
Research shows that 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day dramatically enhances performance in high-intensity exercise, improves memory, reaction times, and overall cognitive function, decreases risk of depression, promotes weight loss by boosting metabolic rates, reduces risk of type 2 diabetes up to 40%, decreases risk of liver cancer up to 71%, reduces risk of Parkinson's up to 30%, and decreases risk of Alzheimer's up to 65%. Overall, coffee drinkers live longer. People who drink 3 to 5 cups of coffee per day have about a 15% lower risk of premature mortality compared to people who don't drink coffee.
And what if we told you that the health benefits of coffee could actually be increased through conscious roasting, sourcing, and processing? Introducing Purity, a health-conscious coffee company. At Purity, we've brought together a world-class team to analyze every step in the production chain from cherry to cup. We make decisions with only one thing in mind: how can we make the healthiest coffee in the world? Here's our 3-step process. Step 1, we search the world for the highest quality organic green beans that meet our exacting standards. Way less than 1% of coffee worldwide fit our sourcing criteria. Step 2, we test, and test again to create a specific roasting protocol for each harvest that maximizes healthy compounds and minimizes toxins. Step 3, we nitrogen pack our coffee within 48 hours of roasting and deliver to your door every 2 weeks to ensure maximum freshness. The result is the ultimate coffee drinking experience. You'll not only taste the difference in our clean, healthy coffee, with Purity, you'll feel the difference.
Our coffee club members report a bright, alert lift with less jitters than regular coffee and much more gentle on the stomach.
Sign up for Purity today, and you'll never have to worry about your source for healthy coffee again.
Hi, my name is Gary Greenfield with Greenfield Water Solutions, and I want to introduce you to our newest product, the MR500. It's a whole house structured water filter system. It's set up in an all stainless steel multi-round filter housing. It features inlet and outlet for the water, a bleeder valve for when you're changing out the filters to reduce pressure, and to remove the top for access to the filters. We simply open up the clamp, remove the top, and this plate here holds all the filters in place. Simple to remove. It comes out, and you can see what we have on the inside here. It's 5 Aquamedics filters and a vortexing tube and a harmonizer. That's the whole system. This is designed to filter 5 gallons per minute, and all of the contaminants that it does remove are listed on the website, which is a very broad array of contaminants. These are the highest rated filters that I know of on the market that are filter cartridges. They can be changed out yearly. And of course, the process is very simple. You won't have to hire a plumber to do a change out. And the filters are available from Greenfield Water Solutions. And if you want to know more about this, you can read about it on the product page or give us a call. Thanks for watching. That's it for now from Greenfield Water Solutions.
Would you like to experience a better night's sleep? Want to feel well rested and ready for your day? Discover an amazing solution with Celliant Sleep Recovery. Our Celliant Sleep Recovery products are made from a patented yarn embedded with a blend of 13 infrared active minerals. Celliant technology never washes out. The benefits will last for their entire lifespan. Minerals reflect the body's own energy by using Celliant infrared active technology, boosting your oxygen levels and improving circulation to reach REM sleep gracefully. Our customers love to comfortably sleep throughout the night because of Celliant. We've conducted 9 independent clinical studies by well-respected scientific institutions and universities that prove the many positive effects Celliant has on the body. Our technology is designed to help you achieve a refreshing sleep recovery. Experience the foundation your body deserves. Start waking up refreshed and always ready for the day ahead. It's time to achieve the best sleep of your life to unlock your hidden potential. Start experiencing a better night's sleep with our Celliant Sleep Recovery products today. Celliant. Recycle your body's energy.
Welcome back. Happy Saturday. You're listening to the Ask Dr. Ernst Show. My name is Dr. Aaron Ernst. Thanks so much for tuning in and sticking around during that long commercial break. Although hopefully you got a chance to see some of the awesome sponsors that we have for our show. They have some great information and really good things you guys should check into. So at the top of the hour, we discussed that today's show is on glyphosate, the weed killer that is probably killing you. The likelihood of you having it is up in the near 80%, according to a recent survey and or study that was done. 80% of humans, including children and adults, tested positive for Roundup, meaning they had extremely high levels. Guys, what I'm showing you on the live stream is a Great Plains Laboratory at-home urinary glyphosate check test. It's about $125, maybe $150. You can order it online. It ships straight to your house, and you will find out if this is the toxin holding you back from vibrant energy, outrageous health, high sugars, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, palpitations, arrhythmias, obesity, fatigue. It could be anything, psoriasis, eczema, headaches, etc. We briefly discussed that this product has been around since the 1970s, but it didn't really gain major traction until the mid-90s when the same company, at the time Monsanto, who makes that product, Roundup, figured out a way to make certain seeds grow in the presence of Roundup. Because listen, if you spray Roundup on anything that's a plant, it dies. So what they discovered is, well, how do I get wheat to grow in its presence? Because we need wheat, or I need corn, or I need soy, or I need rice, or I need whatever I need. And they figured out a way to genetically change the seed so you could dunk it in Roundup, put it in the ground, spray it like crazy, and it still grows. So in the 2000s, it became very popular for us to now spray this stuff because it went generic and anybody can buy it and it's super cheap. And we now spray hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of pounds of this stuff every year. We do know that it's an endocrine disruptor, meaning it affects estrogen and testosterone and cortisol. We know it can shift the functionality of cytochrome P450, which is an enzyme that regulates your energy and also helps you to control your hormones. We know that it is a disruptor for cancer cells. We know it disrupts your microbiome and causes dysbiosis. As if that wasn't enough, we know it also chelates nutrients from your body. Now, since today's show is educational and some of you are just tuning in off the commercial break, I'm giving away for the next 4 straight weeks free guides on nutrition, detox, healing. We have an entire pack called the Ask Dr. Ernst 4-week, we'll call it reboot, whatever you want to call it, 4 weeks to perfect health. Normally, it's a thing that you would have to purchase from us, but because it's the holidays and it's a new year, have at it. It's yours for free. All you have to do, though, is text the word New Year to 704-906-2094. There should be a banner somewhere around here that says, send in your info. Or if you're watching on Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, either above or below is the way you can connect to register with us. Okay, so not only do you get the 4-week survival packs, it's recipes, it's detox suggestions, it's information. You get free attendance to my January 14th masterclass on resetting your health, losing weight, rebuilding your body so that 2023, you start with traction. You start with energy. You heal yourself. Because it's a class I'm going to teach, and because it's teaching, normally there'd be tuition, but we're doing it for free. Again, text the word New Year, your name and your email to 704-906-2094. By the way, the 4-week program is almost $1,000 if you were to buy it. And it's all yours for free. And we're going to give you consistent check-ins on a weekly basis through a special email portal that we'll use only for those who register. Okay, so look, can it cause cancer? Yes. Can it disrupt your microbiome? Yes. Does it interfere with cytochrome P450, sucking the life out of your energy? Yes. Does it play around with your hormones and make you low T guys? Yes. Ladies, does it push you into estrogen dominance and cause problems with your breast cancer risks? Yes. Again, as if that wasn't enough, it binds and chelates nutrients from your body. Glyphosate removes copper, magnesium, cobalt, iron, zinc, calcium, and magnesium from the human body. Now, nearly 1/3 of Americans in the United States generally test for nutrient deficiencies. But when we look at those who have glyphosate toxicity, it's almost always nutrient deficiencies. And I don't know if you know this or not, copper, you can't live without that. It regulates your energy. It makes sure that you burn fat for energy. Magnesium. This is why so many people are stressed out like crazy. They can't relax. They can't sleep. They don't go to the bathroom. Cobalt is for your bones. Iron is for energy. Zinc is for your immunity. Calcium is for your bones. Manganese, not magnesium, manganese is for your joints. So just look at it like, hopefully it's not that hard to put two and two together. If you're eating corn and rice and wheat and soy and oats and things sprayed with glyphosate, you're getting it in your body. Then it disrupts the microbiome, causing dysbiosis and a gut leak. Then you spike autoimmunity and you end up with sickness and disease. And you go to your doctor and you say, what kind of pill do you have to fix this? Which only increases your toxicity, making you sicker, but yet you feel healthier. So we just got to fix this, okay? So number 6, and probably the worst of them all, not that I'm saving the worst for last, it is an oxidizer. This is terrible. In the body, oxidation is rust, decay, and degeneration. It produces free radicals known as ROS, reactive oxygen species, which will increase lipid peroxidation and glutathione peroxidase, both of which are inhibitors and indicators of severe amounts of stress, medically, chemically. It's important to note this, so listen to this. Glyphosate is still on trial. Rather, it should be avoided. So it's like they're still trying to figure out, like, should we actually tell people not to use this? We know it stresses their DNA. We know it causes autoimmune disease. We know it causes cardiovascular disease. We know it sucks minerals out of their body, which can cause osteoporosis, osteopenia, kidney disease. We know it disrupts their hormones and turns the men into women and women into men. And I don't mean it that way. I mean too much testosterone in a female and too much estrogen in a male. It literally interferes with energy production. It causes gut leaks. Oh, and it can cause cancer. Should we remove this? Well, it makes a lot of money. Okay, so you guys, you got to wake up. All right, so you can sort of navigate the ocean of glyphosates if you just figure out how it's getting in your body. And the number one way is on the food you eat and the food you feed your kids if it has grains. Okay, so some people are like, oh, well, like I have my gluten-free oatmeal in the morning and it's so nice because I have quinoa for breakfast with it. Those are all seeds and grains that sometimes are heavily sprayed. Just because it's organic doesn't mean it's free of glyphosate. Okay, so look, I take care of a patient who works with a food distribution company. And he shared with me a little secret that I might be blowing the whistle with. I was banned on YouTube and banned on Facebook for talking about how bad said shot is. And so maybe I'm going to get banned on Twitter and Rumble. Probably not. Thanks Elon Musk and whoever owns Rumble for telling you this little dark secret. Food truck goes and picks up all the organic food to bring to the distribution center, okay, or to bring to your local grocery store. So the food truck pulls up, it's empty, and they pack it 50, 60% with organic food. Well, 2 miles down is the non-organic farm, and so they pack the same food truck with the non-organic food. Now you might think, what's the big deal? The organic isn't sprayed. It's not that big of a deal. But here sits the organic apple in a box next to the non-organic apple in a box, and they ventilate these things because they'd rot if they weren't. And the organic apple is breathing the air. Heaven forbid you were to think that your food is actually alive. Breathing the air, looking for carbon dioxide. And this apple's over here, the sprayed one with glyphosate. It can also be on wheat and corn and rice and stuff. So just understand, the sprayed food literally stinks. It smells like a smoker full of glyphosate. So the healthy food is next to the unhealthy food, choking out. Smells like glyphosate in here. We were raised in an organic farm with nutrient soil that's been bacteria massaged, and we're all healthy foods. And you put us with these guys? So what happens is it's cross-contamination. Then the organic food goes to said food factory to be turned into food that you buy. And what happens is it's cranked through the same machines that the non-organic food went through. It's gross. Think about it. All the residue. You can't wash this stuff off. We've had people say, well, Dr. Ernst, like I soak my vegetables in food wash, special soaps that are supposed to remove this stuff. Yeah, good luck. Okay, it's in the tissues unless you rip the cells apart and spill out the nuclear contents onto your counter and wipe that away, you're not going to clean glyphosate out of your food with soap. Can't do it. So where does it come from? It comes from the foods we eat, especially non-organic foods, but even the organic ones will have it. It's just not as high. So let me show you again. Okay, not that I'm endorsing beers, but this is what they've tested, right? Here's an organic beer with none. Here's an organic beer with some. 5.7, it's above the acceptable limit, which is none. Here's a non-organic beer, 18. Here's another non-organic beer, 27, 29, 31. How the heck does this have glyphosate in it? Because it's wheat. How is it that this one doesn't? Because it's wheat, but it came from a certified farm and they kept it guaranteed and they tested it and they went through it. Okay, we know there's companies that test coffee and test alcohol and test food products for glyphosate. Why do you think we let Purity sponsor us? Guaranteed 100% free of any sort of pesticide or herbicide in the coffee that you consume. That's why we recommend Purity. Why do you think Dry Farm Wines is like, it's very important that you pay attention to where your wine comes from? Because they know the studies. They found out that your classic bottles of wines that you guys buy that are US-based have Roundup in them. They've done the studies and found out that you have it in you and you need to get rid of it. So here we go. How on earth do we get it out of us? Okay, so number one, all right, and we have plenty of time for this, 10 minutes. Okay, number one, you have to recognize that the only way to get it out of you is to stop putting it into you first. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? If I want to get out of debt, I can't just go make payments. I have to stop buying stuff. So you have to, number one, stop getting this stuff on you and in you. And sadly, it's everywhere. They've even found it in the rain. So I mean, think about this. You know, it's a nice, warm summer day. It's not right now. It's wintertime. But it's a nice, warm summer day. And you and your loved one are walking in the rain. And it's like, you know, the movies. What was the movie? The Notebook or whatever, right? So all it's famous. You know, everybody's so excited. They're having a love scene in the rain. And like, oh my God, I'm thinking like they're getting poisoned with glyphosate. Now that's just me because I know so much. But sadly, it's everywhere. When it comes to avoiding this, the number one thing, the most important of them all, is stop eating grains. Wheat, heavily sprayed. Corn, heavily sprayed. Cotton, heavily sprayed. You mean the clothing I'm wearing could be soaked in glyphosate and I'm absorbing it? This is why they make organic clothing, just so you guys know. We need to make sure we stay as far away from grains. And we got to watch out, even eating organic grains are dangerous. We need to make sure that you're not using it in your house. Okay, a lot of people still go around today and they spray their yard to get rid of dandelions, which, by the way, dandelion is one of the healthiest weeds you could ever use. Cleans out your kidneys, helps your liver detox. You guys hate it, so you spray cancer-causing, endocrine disrupting, microbiome destroying Roundup on it, and you're like very happy that your grass is green and cancer-filled with chemicals and toxins. Okay, so number one, definitely we need to eat and make sure our food is organic. Number two, we've got to stay away from grains. Just going organic isn't enough, guys, because even the organic stuff is in it. So now that you've said, all right, I'm no longer buying this stuff, I'm no longer using it, I got to figure out where it's coming from. It's in your water. Pretty guaranteed, okay? Look, if you have a well, it's in your well. If you use city water, it's in the city water. It's everywhere. How do you think they found it in the rain? It's in the air you're breathing. So there are filters you can get that will clean your water. We have Greenfield Water, who was also one of our previous sponsors, currently still is, and they make a filter that gets rid of glyphosate. If you're going to drink wine, Dry Farm Wines. If you're going to have coffee, Purity Coffee. Make sure you're using food products that are guaranteed tested to be free from this. Make sure you stay as far away from foods that are processed. I know it's convenient, and I know you guys are like, ugh. But look, I was raised on this stuff too. Oreos and Fruit-O-Lay, whatever, Trix and Wheaties. The only difference is when I ate this stuff, it was before 1997. See, a lot of you are eating this stuff after 1997 when the genetic modification took place. And if it's after the year 2000, it's sprayed like crazy. So I always wondered, how did I survive when my parents gave me all the foods that today are poisonous? Because back then they weren't. But today, it's liquid poison. You need to make sure that you're not using it on your household. We talked about that, but yet even my neighbor, man, he sprays it. I watch him physically do it, and we go out of town, we stay out of the house for a week to let it off gas. So eating organic is better, but it's not the answer to solve all. Cleaning out your water is important, but again, it's not the answer to solve all. We're only right now just talking about how do you stop putting it into you. Then it's number 2, okay? You have to get tested. I like the Great Plains test because it's super easy. You take a urine sample, you send it in. It's easy to read. If you're in the red zone, red alert. If you're in the orange zone, orange alert. If you're in the yellow zone, yellow alert. And if you're in the green, you're good. So we want to be way away from this top end. What happens if this comes back? You should really start to pay attention. It means you have an endocrine disrupting, microbiome destroying, possible carcinogen in your blood and in your body at all times, and you're urinating it out. It's so high. Let's ask this question. How much glyphosate should be in your urine? None. If it comes back showing small amounts, then that's a problem. Okay, so now that we've tested it, you're going to have to get it out of you. And this stuff is disgustingly nasty. It requires sometimes doing glutathione infusions. It requires using chelator products, DMSA, EDTA. I've got 5 minutes. There's no way I can describe today how to remove it all. But guess what? Over the next 4 weeks, if you register today, you're going to get all the information you need on how to detox it. I'll send it right to you. A lot of this stuff you can either get at home or at your standard health food stores to encourage glyphosate detoxification. We know zeolites work. We know EDTA works. We know humeric and fulvic acids work. And if you're like thinking I'm speaking Greek, you really need to register. If you don't know what those are, you are in for a sure, rude awakening. So how do we get connected to the masterclass? Right now, text your name and your email with the word New Year to 704-906-2094. You can also use the info at the bottom of the screen. It should be like, I'm looking at my screen, somewhere around here where it says, now text your name and your info to us. You'll get the 4-week guides. You'll get the emails once a week. We send some great stuff to you guys on encouragements and tips and things to do. This is normally a program you would have to pay for, but being that it's the holidays, it is yours for free. 704-906-2094. Call now, text now, and you get the entire pack. The masterclass is on the 14th of January. It's at 10 a.m. in the morning. I'll come into your house through your computer, and it's edumacation time, right? We're going to be learning something. You're going to learn how to take care of yourself, and we're going to show you how to get rid of the toxins that cause weight gain, cause lethargy, cause elevated blood pressure, elevated cholesterol, elevated triglycerides. Like, this is the thing, guys. And no one's talking about medically the tests that you can do or the fact that it's been linked to major health issues. Does this make sense? Hopefully this was rather easy. Hey, for those of you tuning in on the airwaves, thanks for joining us. This is your time and opportunity now to pick up the phone and call 704-906-2094. You'll reach our call team. All they need to know is your name and email. The masterclass is yours for free. The 4-week health guides, the recipes, the shopping tips, the detox guides, the recommended supplements, and a program for you to radically transform your health. All free is yours now. 704-906-2094. Shout out to our Twitterians, if that is the phrase, or our tweeters. We've been streaming live on Twitter now that they allowed us to do this again. I'm not going to say this is a result of Elon Musk, but we're definitely back on Twitter and streaming because of what happened, if you guys know what I'm talking about. We're also on Rumble, so hey, make sure you guys head on over to our Rumble page, Ask Dr. Ernst, and like it. The more subscribers we get, the more stuff we can do with you. And just know, I know Facebook, and I'm sorry, YouTube, we're going to be quiet for the next 20-something days. I'm still in jail on Facebook and on YouTube. Again, because of the conversations we've been teaching you. Think about this, right? The big boys don't want you to hear what I'm saying. So that alone should make you go, woo, I should pay attention to this. My global phrase is this: if the big companies are telling you to do it, you shouldn't. And if the small guys are telling you should not, then you definitely should. So just make sure you pay attention. You should not have glyphosate in your body. You should get rid of it. See, on the other hand, they're going to say, nah, it's totally fine. You can spray it in your yard and it won't do anything to you. But we know the opposite. We are purveyors of truth, purveyors of health. And the idea is, again, you can be your own doctor and you can heal yourself. The Ask Dr. Ernst show exists for that very reason, to teach you what you don't know so you can implement it and become what you know and become healthy, healing, and whole, happy, vibrant, and alive. That's it, guys. Super easy. So with this, I bid you well. I hope you have a phenomenal day, and take a moment right now. Pick up the phone, pick up your text. New Year, 704-906-2094. I'll see you on the flip side as we send you some information. And don't forget, we're coming at you every single Saturday, 3 p.m. right here on WBT. That includes during the holidays, guys. Saturday is Saturday, no matter if it's a Christmas Saturday or a New Year's Saturday, we will be here for you. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys next week. Until then, enjoy your Saturday. Have an awesome day. And don't forget, pick up the phone. Text now, 704-906-2094. Hey, what is it again? 704-906-2094. Thanks so much. I'll see you all next week. Be blessed. Until then.